Hi everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of the Outlier Podcast. I've got Justin with me today. Hi Justin, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Absolute pleasure, Justin. Firstly, thank you for taking your time out on a Tuesday afternoon, leaving your work, doing this for me. I really appreciate that. You should know that.
I'm excited to be here and share my journey with you.
Absolutely, sir. Sharing your outlier journey. Another reason because of which I thought Justin's an outlier because he has spent almost close to a decade in the military. He's a veteran, right? So respect for that. Uh, after in the militia, he worked very briefly in the healthcare space before he drank the Kool-Aid of credit unions and he joined IMCU. Been with IMCU for almost 14 years now, 13 and a half, 14 years, serving as the Chief Strategy Officer of IMCU, leading IMCU's growth and leadership across the ecosystem, right? Justin, I don't know if I did have justice to your introduction. But that's the way how I try introducing people. So if you want to add something, please feel free.
Yeah, no, you got it. 14 years at IMCU, 3 years in my current role, and like you said, I worked in public accounting for about 6 years. So 20 years directly, indirectly part of this great organization.
That's great to hear. Let's start the podcast, right? So let me talk about Justin. Let me ask you. So what has been your journey to leadership? Because you're one of the very few people whom I interview has spent years serving the nation and then moving on to serving the people, right?
Mm.
I mean, two different lenses. But again, that requires, I think, military taught you how to become a leader, right? And then you came and became a leader. You talk about that journey. I personally, for me, it's very fascinating.
Yeah, definitely being in the military. I was in the reserves the entire time. After college, I was commissioned as a lieutenant, but it really taught me, to deal with difficult situations. Maybe probably help me deal with people from different backgrounds. A lot of the traits that really set me up for success. So, you know, any young person I talk to is thinking about the military. I always encourage them. To me, it's the best leadership academy you can really have. So yeah, big part of who I am. But a couple other stops along the way, as you mentioned, working in public accounting taught me a lot. Working with different credit union leaders, bank leaders, I got to see good organizations, not so good organizations, but really, you know, let me see the inside under the hood of good banks and credit unions. But from there, I went to Eli Lilly and thought, hey, this is a great company, one of the best companies, in Indiana. But soon realized that I really missed working with the banks and credit unions. Being part of a bigger organization really wasn't for me. So, not even a year there, the CFO called me and said, hey, I know you probably won't do this, but would you be interested in coming to join IMCU? We have a spot. And I didn't think about it twice. I was ready to get back to my calling of, being working in banking.
That's interesting, right? Let's talk about your current role. I think everyone talks about your current role, what you do, right? My question is, why do you do what do you do? One, and second, what's your vision as a chief strategy officer? Because now the credit union ecosystem is disrupting at a faster pace than ever right now. It's not easy.
All right. Great questions. And, I think the chief strategy officer is still somewhat of a new role for the credit union industry. I've spoken to several different CSOs, and it seems like our role is pretty unique. There's probably some commonalities. I would say that generally CSOs, we are, involved in the strategic plan, probably involved in a lot of maybe technology decisions, but from there, there's a lot of differences. For me, my responsibilities at our credit union are unique. I oversee our market presidents, and that involves commercial lending, oversee our mortgage ops team, And in addition, some other exciting areas, treasury operations, business intelligence, data security, and project management. So quite a few areas that fall up under my kind of my umbrella. But I guess my vision, I think to continue to grow the credit union, I think being able to assist our CEO, John Newitt, in anything that I can take off his plate,
Yeah.
to really help him succeed, help the credit union succeed. It's probably, job number one for me. And given my background, my finance background, I'm probably a little bit more involved in the finance area, just, given that that's where I came from. More involved in the growing the balance sheet than maybe other CSOs, but it's an exciting opportunity I have at IMCU. It's never never there's not a boring day, and with kind of the growth-minded credit union we are, it's exciting to come to work every day.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Let's talk about like core values, right? I mean, in terms of core values and strategic direction, because you're at a center stage of driving strategic direction for IMC because you lead strategy, right? We
Mhm.
won't talk about how does core values and strategic direction go hand in hand.
Yeah, I think it really starts with our people and team. We're lucky to have a great team and great culture. Our management team gets along really well. We like to have fun. We like to laugh at each other, and it really makes it easy to come to work every day. I think our core values. I would say that starting with John, our CEO, we want our executive team to be approachable, visible, easy to talk with. I think that is the key to a good culture, and we try to live that. I think some other interesting things about our credit union, our motto, our marketing motto, is keeping it simple. So we try to, have the best loan rates, the best deposit rates. We don't do everything, but what we do, we do it well. And I'm not going to lie, it's more and more difficult to really keep it simple. In this kind of growing financial complexity. It's hard, but it's something that when our team makes decisions, we are trying to keep the member in mind and keep it simple, less fine print. And I think our members appreciate that. That's why they continue to bank with us at the end of the day. Um, some other core values. Our strategic direction, I would say that branching, that's always a hot topic. We have over 30 branches, and I think branching will continue to be a key part of how we grow. We're in many markets in Indiana, and I think it would be hard to get into a new market without a branch. I think branches will continue to look a little bit differently. Maybe they're more resolution centers or more loan origination centers, whereas less transaction, but definitely an important part of us. Uh, I would also say that we started, as you said, a healthcare hospital credit union. We were originally a seg-based credit union. We have since many years ago transitioned to a community base, and but with that, I still think we find our success in a lot of niches. I think it's hard to be all things to all people, but either first-time home buyer, small businesses, someone who's looking to do an auto loan. That's where we have really done well, and I think that we're able to make a difference. Then, I spoke a little bit about business accounts. That has been a nice growth area for us. We're still always going to be a consumer retail-focused credit union, but we've done well in the business area, both deposits, loans. It's been able to kind of subsidize some of the consumer aspects of providing the best rates around.
Yeah. Justin, if I were to ask you as a follow-up, right, about your success stories. Now, success stories might be at IMCU outside IMCU, if you talk about success stories that define you as a person, what would those be?
Yeah, good question. I would, looking through my 14-year career, I'd say maybe the one defining moment. We purchased a bank about 6 years ago, and I wasn't in my current role yet. I wasn't necessarily part of the executive team, but I was felt like I was pretty instrumental in the M&A process. We looked at a few banks, but given my experience in public accounting, I had been involved in a few acquisitions during my time. But this particular one that we purchased, I really felt good about it. Strategically, it got us into some important markets in Indiana, and really felt like we had to go for this one. I felt like the people there was what was really going to give us an advantage. Talked about we did commercial lending. We at the time we didn't do much with what I call treasury ops, business accounts, business deposits, and really felt like that was maybe an untapped area that where we could have some
Yep.
growth. So that really being instrumental in that acquisition, that bank acquisition, was something that was a defining moment for me. And I would even say kind of after the fact, my colleague John Newitt, who's now our CEO, we kind of both realized after the time that, really the hard work began after the merger. How do we, in order to have a successful acquisition, how do we integrate the team, the culture? We talk about our culture being so important. So how do we make the bankers, credit union employees? How do we, the people helping people mentality? So we like to say that, over the first few years, John and I probably spent more time in those new markets, really trying to develop the team, instill the IMCU culture. That we spent more time down there than, the branch across, the street where we work and live. So, that is something I'm proud of, something we're proud of. It's really, took us from a central Indiana only credit union to a statewide credit union, and continue to provide more opportunities.
Yep, these are actual impactful use cases, right? Not just for the sake of use case, but these are actual very impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Let's talk about. I sound like a broken record, right? Because that's what I do for a living. I use data and analytics for solving problem and technology for the last 10 years. So I love asking this question that you sitting at a CSO spot, right? How do you look at leveraging data and technology, right, for strategic advantage for IMCU?
Yeah, it's definitely an important part of my job. If I ask my teammates here, they probably call me the data nerd, the data guy. It's really kind of how I cut my teeth, in the credit union world. Given my finance background, I love looking at, data analytics. But I'd say that one thing that I built was what I call our performance dashboard, our KPI dashboard. It started as a simple, had a few ratios on it when I first built it, but today it has, it has loan growth numbers, it has our daily net promoter score, it has, how long average wait times are in the call center. So, that is just gives you a glimpse of that's where I start my day. That's where a lot of the executive team starts today, is looking at that dashboard. And sometimes it's enabled us to get ahead of issues. If we see the call time has increased, or if we see there's been a large decrease in loans, we're able to get ahead of issues. So it's things like that have been able to allow me to leverage the data. I oversee our data intelligence department, and I'm continually on them to look for ways that we can raise the bar. How can we gather more business? How can we get ahead of issues? That's meet with the team weekly, and really that's the the MO is using data to help grow and expand IMCU.
Yeah, that's like a journey, more of a crawl, walk, run journey that you're trying to.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about future trends, right? That's a very broad-based question, but still, I'm very bullish about stablecoins nowadays. I feel stablecoins after Genius Act, I feel there are arms and legs to it. Credit unions should think of investing. because if we do not, others will. I mean, like, I think, if I'm not wrong, Pfizer already has a stable coin which they have launched a few weeks back.
Right.
So what do you think is, at a high level, if I were to ask you about, trends, right? Let's talk about the top three. And don't talk AI as one, because AI is something all of us talk about, right?
Right.
Maybe anything apart from AI, what are the other three future
Yeah.
trends that you think?
Yeah. Good question. We obviously we talk about trends quite a bit. Definitely in my role, stablecoin. It's something that we look at. Obviously, as more of the core processors are getting involved, we think it's going to have an impact. More members are asking about it, but it kind of goes back to our motto of keeping it simple. If we can't explain it to our members, if we don't think that we can do the best job, we have been a little slow to embrace it. It's not to say we won't get there, but just once again, we can't be all things to all people, and
Yeah.
until it becomes more widespread, until our systems, until our core processor is able to handle it. It sounds like something that we haven't fully got off the sideline, but just from my view, AI is something I spend quite a bit of time on, just trying to make sure that we're not left behind. I think it's important that I know all the trends and make sure use cases. That is something I talk about with the team quite a bit. That just don't want to be left behind, and feel like in my role that I'm continuing to talk to more vendors, talk to more other credit union executives about how we can close that gap and make sure we're using it to our benefit.
And just in the interest of time, I want to wrap this up with one last question, right?
All right.
Maybe a thought-provoking one. So, because of the podcast, the way how I named it is called the Outlier Podcast. It means that you've had your outlier moments in your life, and hence you're doing what you're doing right now. If I were to ask you, Justin, what is that one outlier moment that shaped you as a person? What would that be?
Yeah, I think leaving Eli Lilly and coming to Indiana Members, I think taking advantage of that opportunity. I knew it was going to pass quickly, so I tell my team that when an opportunity is presented, make the most of it. So for me, joining IMCU 14 years ago was my outlier moment. I had people say to me, "Are you really leaving Eli Lilly?" And I'm like, "Yes." And looking back, it was the best decision. Being part of an organization that gives back to the community. It might have seemed crazy at the time, but looking back, it was the best decision. And I share that story with my team that you have opportunities, and when an opportunity is presented, if it's an RFP or something else, don't hesitate to step out of your comfort zone. I think that we learn more about ourselves, even if it doesn't go our way. We get the feedback. We learn a new skill, meet new people like yourself. So I think that that is my one takeaway is opportunities such as that.
Justin, this was amazing. This was great. Taking your time out to catch up with us today, share your journey. I really appreciate, and sir, thank you.
Thanks again. I appreciate you having me on. Look
Absolutely.
forward to hearing more.